Somehow I'm coming into this session riding a 5-session losing streak, which is not ideal. So work to do here today to snap that. So I jump into the game on table 1 at Pep with 4 guys lobbying, so 5-handed. The button straddles to 10, and I'm in the hijack with ace of clubs, 7 of clubs, and I make it 25. The button calls, and the big blind comes along too. So with 75 in, the flop is 10 of diamonds, deuce of clubs, 6 of diamonds. The big blind checks, and I c-bet 45, which only the button calls. So with 165 in, the turn is the 5 of clubs, giving me that nut flush draw that, needless to say, hoping to pick up. My plan was to barrel all club turns, so I follow through on that, and I fire $95. He tanks for a minute and throws in his cards, so we're on the board with the small one. Later on, playing 6-handed, the button straddles to 10, and 2 players call it. I'm in the hijack with jacks, and I raise to 50. Once again, it's the button that comes along. So with 120 in, it comes 7-6-3 with 2 clubs. I c-bet 75, and he folds his hand, and we take down another. Next hand, I'm in the cutoff with King-10 offsuit, and decide to make it 15. The big blind defends, so at 30 in, it comes King-Jack-6 with 2 diamonds. I bet another 15, hoping his low pairs will stick around, which he does do. So with 60 in, the turn is the King of Hearts, giving me trips. He checks, and I bet 25. He thinks about it, and finally makes the call. So with 110 in, the river is an offsuit queen, and now he checks. I do that annoying thing that others did to me last vlog, and I bet very small here. I make it 30 to increase my chances of getting paid off by a jack. Sure enough, he does pay off, so we have a $170 pot. I show my hand, and I've won the first 3 hands of this vlog. Later on, I switch to table 3. And I end up being in a much better game, though I did lose with a turned set of aces before I was able to start filming. The problem with that hand was the turn gave me 3 aces and my opponent a flush. It was one of those times, by the way, where I didn't want to set. I was happy with my overpair, which, by the way, is usually the case when you make a set of aces. You just kind of think that way. It's like, I was kind of okay with just my pair here. Not that you should care about this or that it means anything, but my streak of never being able to get a board to pair when I need one continues. At this point, it's like Cal Ripken. I think it's gone on for years now, where the difference between me winning a hand and losing a hand is a board pair. It just never pairs. But often when my opponent's drawing dead, at that point, it does indeed pair. Anyway, then I make the mistake of bluffing off a decent amount of my profit against local favorite Mr. Z. Couldn't have gone to a much nicer guy, though. So I'm about even for the day. Then we get a VIP limp and a call from the hijack. I have ace-queen on the button, and I make it 30 here. Both call. So with 95 in, the flop is ace-queen-7 rainbow. Check to me, and for several reasons, I elect to slow play it here. The turn is a 6, plus 3 checks, and the hijack bets 60. I elect to slow play it even more here, thinking plus 3 might squeeze. He doesn't, unfortunately. So with 215 in, the river is another queen, giving me a boat, and now he checks. I bet 150, targeting an ace, and he snap calls. So we have a $515 pot, and he ends up having queen 5 of hearts for trip queen, so we take down our first decent-sized pot at this new table. Then we get a VIP limp, and I look to isolate with ace-9 offsuit in the low jack. I make it 25. The button, another moderate level VIP, calls. And the limper +1 calls too. So with 80 in, it comes 9-4-5 with 2 hearts, giving me top pair, top kicker. I almost said top, by the way, which I just think is stupid. Anyway, I bet 55 here. The button folds and +1 calls. So with 190 in, the turn is the deuce of clubs, and now he checks. Beautiful card for me here, no doubt. I still am going to be betting. I make it 80, and he makes the call. So with 350 in, the river is the 8 of diamonds, and now he fires 200, and this just does not make any sense to me. He certainly could have 6-7 here, but it's a pretty big bet for 2 pairs, so I think it's pretty much a polarized situation where it's going to be 6-7 or nothing most of the time. There's also the fact that, as I mentioned, I just tried to run a bluff on him that failed miserably, so he's thinking that I'm playing pretty loose, which admittedly with ace-9, I kind of am. So I think about it for a little while and ultimately decide to make the call. So we have a $750 pot, and he shows 7-8 offsuit for just a pair of eights, and we take it down. Then that brings us to the most memorable hand of the day that unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, I was not involved in it. But I thought it was worth mentioning. I posted this video to Instagram stories about it. Reno's top poker VIP gets felted by an out-of-town VIP from the Chico area in a $6,000 flush over flush pot. Usually a VIP busting another is the single worst possible outcome for the game because then they both leave. In this case, the winner stuck around for about another hour, which was long enough for him to play the following hand against me. He limps in the low jack, and I have ace-queen on the button, and I raise to 30. He makes the call. So with 60 in, it comes jack 4 deuce rainbow. He checks, and I check it back. Turns a 3, and he fires 75. Against this particular opponent, I think this is definitely a call. He plays such a wide range that it's insane, and he bluffs a lot. So with 210 in, it comes an 8 on the river, and now he bets 310. This was about an hour after the big pot that he won, and he was obviously up a lot of money. Had he been losing on the day, I definitely would call here with ace high. Instead, I opted to let it go. Admittedly, I was kind of thinking back to that 9-6 hand I lost a few vlogs ago, and I sure didn't feel like trying to turn this one into a bluff by raising, so I just opted for the fold. As he loves to show me his bluffs, I felt pretty good about that fold because he didn't show. Something that I would later on get a chance to see him do, even though I didn't get video, but I did chastise myself on my walk out that day. Well, last time on this part of the vlog, I talked about how a loss feels like a win, and today I did book a win, but it felt like a loss. I managed to get bluffed off a big hand, well, just a pair of kings really, but I got bluffed off of them in a spot that I should have called. The single worst river card for me came, brought in front door spades and a one-liner to a straight. But given the opponent in question, I just had to pay it off. I didn't. And of course he hit and ran afterwards. It's always bad when one VIP busts another VIP because then both leave. And the game goes from being great to being terrible. And that's what happened here. So, my thanks to all of you for watching. As always, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ever since Vlog 100, we cruised past the 20,000 subscriber mark, and looks like we've got a lot of momentum here of late. It's all because of you guys watching, and I really do appreciate that. I'm going to try and bring you plenty of more crazy hands and good action here from the Peppermill in the coming weeks. We'll see you back here next time. All right, before we wrap this vlog up, you guys know from previous vlogs that I am a connoisseur of the smoothie. Now, I just have one thing that I'm wanting to figure out. Can I get my 1-year-old son, Austin, to also enjoy a smoothie? I'm honestly not sure. Let's find out. Oh yes, it's a win!